Welcome back to another video, my brothers. Today's video is titled The Day That Turns Your Life Around. This was a profound lesson that I learned from the late Jim Rohn, who I reference quite a lot on the channel. He was one of the greatest motivational speakers of our time. And there was a day where I was driving and I was listening to one of his seminars, and the topic of discussion was the day that turns your life around. And of course that captivated my interest, so I put the volume up and I started listening. And it really hit home. And I'm going to give you guys a summary of that lesson. So what Jim says is it all begins with disgust. You have to get to a point where you're disgusted with yourself. Now, disgust is a negative emotion, but it can have a very powerful positive effect. Disgust says, I've had it. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. And we all have different events that lead us to that point where we feel that disgust. For example, you may be at a bicycle store and you may be at the checkout about to buy a bicycle with your kid, and your kid's there and he's excited and he thinks he's going to come home with a new bicycle, but then your card declines and there's a queue behind you and your kid looks at you thinking, Dad, is everything okay? Oh, you can't afford it. So what do? You have to walk back and put the bicycle where it was. And you feel humiliated and ashamed of yourself. And that for you is the day where you tell yourself, I've had it. I cannot continue living like this anymore. Maybe you had to ask someone for money. Maybe you were extremely broke. You went up to someone who you thought may be able to help you, and maybe they respond unfavorably and they tell you, no, I'm not going to help you. It's your problem. And you know what? Nobody owes you shit. So don't think that, yeah, I'm going to put myself in a financial mess and people should bail me out. No, that's naive thinking and that's arrogant. Nobody owes you anything. Okay? You put yourself in that mess, you get yourself out of it. But maybe for you, the fact that no one was willing to help you, that triggered you. And you felt disgusted with yourself. Now, Jim says if you can add an act to your disgust, it certainly helps. And he talks about a guy who took a shotgun to his car, blew out every window, destroyed every tire, and said, I've had it with this piece of crap. I refuse to drive it anymore. Okay? Completely blows it up into smithereens. And he says, not only will I not drive it, no one else after me will drive it. And you may think, no, that's fucking crazy. Well, he added an act to his disgust, because if he carried on, nothing will change. He'll still carry on driving that piece of shit. But he made the decision, I'm going to elevate my standards now. I'm not going to operate on a low vibration any longer. I'm not going to operate in fear thinking, oh, but I can't afford something more expensive. This is cheap to run. That's how a lot of you guys are thinking right now. You're operating at a low vibration because you're scared of more. You're scared of abundance. Or maybe you don't feel like you deserve it, and that's a whole other topic. Okay, subconsciously, you feel like, you know what, I don't deserve success. None of my family members have ever had money. My parents have never had money. So who do I think I am, wanting to drive a S63 AMG? You know, and people often will tell you, hey, what makes you think you can drive that? Humble yourself, or, you know, money ain't everything. And they'll push you down and they'll make you feel like, yeah, you know what, I guess I just got to carry on driving this banger. No, maybe that car that's very cheap to run on fuel is always breaking down. Maybe it just doesn't make you feel good about yourself. Why not drive something that makes you feel better about yourself? So we all have a different day that really triggers that disgust in us, a different event. I was once humiliated. I couldn't even afford to buy a sandwich. Imagine. Yes, you see the suits right now and you think, yeah, Ali's always had money. Nah. There were days I couldn't afford a fucking sandwich. I was humiliated, embarrassed with myself. I was out with my girl at the time and my card declined. We were at a grocery store, my card declined. And I'm being open and honest with you guys. You know, that was difficult. That was difficult. Very fucking difficult. Now, you know, granted she was a good girl, so she, you know, paid for that. But that did something to me. That messed me up in a good way. I walked out of that store thinking to myself, I've had it. This cannot continue any longer. Enough is enough. I can't keep operating at this level. I can't carry on with these results that I've been experiencing in my life. And most of the time it's your fault, and I'll be honest with you, it was my fault that I was in that point. Okay, it shouldn't have got to that point. Because if I had been operating at a higher vibration, if I had been working my arse off, it wouldn't have got to that point. Remember, you are where you are in life because of the decisions or lack of decisions that you've made. There's something right now that you keep pushing off. Maybe it's a business idea. Maybe it's you creating content. Maybe it's you pursuing something. Doesn't fucking matter what it is. But you've been pushing it for too long. Or maybe you've started but you're not doing it every day. You're working on it once a week. And it's not making you money, because of course it ain't gonna fucking make you money. You're working on it once a week. You need to be all in, obsessed. So, oftentimes, the life that you're experiencing right now, not even oftentimes, almost every fucking time, it's your fault. You let it get to that point. So, experience that feeling of disgust. Let it sit there and let it change you. You can't just be disgusted and not make a new decision. Make a new decision. For me, I told myself, Ali, this can never happen again. Ever. Ever. I was angry at myself. And I work every single day extremely hard to ensure that I never get to that point again in my life. You know, yes, I'm motivated by nice things, luxuries, and of course, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't. But I'm motivated more by the fear of going backwards. I don't want to go back again. I want to continue to elevate. I want to continue to get better. And I always talk about the fact that in life you're either moving forwards or moving backwards. You're not staying the same. It's a fucking fallacy. You don't stay the same. You either lose weight, meaning you lose muscle if you stop training, or you're out there working every single day hard to gain muscle. You're either making more money or you're losing money. Right? So you got to get disgusted with yourself, and you got to promise yourself that things will change, and you got to start to take a new decision and prove to yourself. You know, I never used to journal. I journal every fucking day now, religiously. I don't miss a single day. Content creation wise, almost 7 days a week. I promised myself I'd do that. And there's so many topics I could talk about on today's video, but I really want to keep it focused on the feeling of disgust. That is the day that turns your life around. So I want you to reflect on your own life. Was there a particular event that really fucked you up in a good way? It made you realize, shit, things have to change, man. I can't continue like this anymore. Okay, you don't have to share it if you don't want to down below, but make sure you hit that like button down below, and if you like the channel, subscribe. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.